Las Vegas are shocked by yet another disappearance at the town pool. 25-year-old Amy Van Y went missing from Doolittle Pool 3 days ago. She accompanied her husband and 2 young children there for what was supposed to be a nice family outing, but the day turned into the family's worst nightmare when she mysteriously vanished. Some of her belongings were located on a bench in the locker room, but police say there are no signs of foul play. If you have any information about her disappearance, please call the number at the bottom of the screen. I mute the video I'd been watching on my cell phone when my coworker Julie walks into the break room. "Hey, Leilani," she says, smiling. Unable to speak because of the bite of apple I'm chewing, I wave and start collecting the trash from my lunch. As I'm walking over to the trash can to dispose of it, Julie asks, "Can you believe that another person went missing?" I swallow the rest of my lunch and take a swig from my water bottle before I respond. There's no proof that any of them actually went missing from here. This is just the last place they were seen. They could have left and no one noticed. "Yeah, maybe," she answers, considering it. 5 people have gone missing in the last month. Police think the disappearances are connected because they were all last seen here at my place of employment, Doolittle Pool. You're probably wondering why the pool hasn't been shut down. Well, that's because no bodies have been found, so drowning has been ruled out as a possibility. Each time someone has gone missing, the pool closes down temporarily, but then it's back up and running, usually about a day later. My name is Leilani, and I moved from Hawaii to Las Vegas 4 years ago when I was 16. That's when I got my first job here at Doolittle Pool as a lifeguard. Growing up in Honolulu and living close to the beach, I learned how to swim at a very young age. My parents had me taking swimming lessons at the age of 1, and by my 2nd birthday, I knew and understood the basics of swimming. My dad took me fishing for the first time for my 3rd birthday, and then for my 4th, he taught me how to surf. I'd been snorkeling, jet skiing, parasailing, swimming with dolphins, and even scuba diving with sharks all by the time I was 10. I loved living there. There was nothing to ever complain about. Everyone is friendly and kind, the weather is beautiful most of the time, and there are just so many things to do. That's why when my parents told me that we were moving, I was so angry. I refused to go. Then when I realized I didn't really have a choice, I started begging them to let me stay behind with my aunt and uncle. I only had 2 years left of high school. I didn't want to start over with a bunch of strangers. I wanted to graduate with all of my friends in Honolulu. They didn't even have a good reason for wanting to move. They said they were just ready for a change because they'd lived here their entire lives and they wanted to experience someplace new. They couldn't wait until I went off to college for all of that. My 2 little brothers were young enough that they had plenty of time to make new friends. When we moved, Keanu was 7. He's the baby of the family. He's my favorite brother because he looks up to me and does anything I ask. Kanani was 12, and he's a total pain in my butt. It seems as if his mission in life is to annoy me in any way possible. So as soon as I finished my 10th grade year, we packed up and moved here to Las Vegas, leaving my entire life behind. One good thing about moving is that my parents finally gave in and let me get my first tattoo. It's nothing too crazy, just a small dolphin in between my thumb and pointer finger. To my surprise, once we got here, I adapted rather quickly. I made a bunch of friends over summer vacation working at the pool, so by the time school started, I wasn't a total outcast like I had envisioned. I've always looked forward to summer vacation because that's when I'm able to do all of the things that I love. But this summer has been kind of strange. All of these people disappearing just doesn't make any sense. First it was 15-year-old Kevin Grant. He's a regular at the pool. He shows up here one afternoon, and then the next day the police are here searching for him. I was on duty the day he went missing. I remember seeing him a few times throughout the day with some of his friends. Then when it was time for the pool to close, his friends were looking for him. But everyone just assumed he'd left earlier in the day and no one noticed. The second person to go missing was 6-year-old Penelope Wright. That one was pretty scary because her mom briefly lost sight of her and everyone thought she must have drowned. But her body was never recovered from the pool. The third and fourth victims to go missing were a couple who were visiting from out of state. Brad and Chloe Weller were here on vacation visiting family. They came with a large group to the pool. It was extremely hot that day. I believe the high was estimated to be around 107 degrees, and the pool was very crowded. I was working at the front desk collecting money and handing out wristbands when they arrived. I remained working at the front desk for half the day until it was time for my break, and after that I relieved Julie, who was on lifeguard duty. I remember seeing a few members of their group lounging around the pool area, but Chloe and Brad weren't with them. A few hours later, my boss shut down the pool and called an emergency meeting to see if anyone has seen them. Apparently, they told their family members they were going to get something to eat, but they never specified if they were going to the concession stand or if they were leaving the premises, and nobody actually saw them leave. The fifth person to go missing was Amy Van Wy, who only disappeared a few days ago. I had the day off when she disappeared, so I'm just going by what Julie told me and what I saw on the news. She told her husband to keep an eye on the children while she went to the restroom, but she never returned. One of the lifeguards on duty that day found her fanny pack and towel in the girls' locker room, drenched in a slimy substance. It's the same exact thing with all of them. They were all last seen here, but none of them drowned, and no one's reported seeing anything suspicious. I hope today is just a normal day at work. Everything seems to be going okay so far. I'm just now returning from my lunch break and... No running! I yell at three little boys who are chasing each other around the pool. I head into the locker room to put my lunchbox away. So gross, I say as I wipe something wet and slimy off of my locker. Whatever it is, I've been finding it around the locker room and pool for the past couple of weeks. When I finally got around to reporting it a few days ago, that's when I found out that some of the other lifeguards and even some guests have seen it as well. My boss seems to think it's the local troublemaker, Gavin Boswell. He's always getting into trouble at the pool for misbehaving and playing pranks on the staff. At first I thought, yeah, maybe it could be him. Slime is a big craze right now. I've had to confiscate some a few times already, and I've even had to scoop some out of the pool drains. But the more that I think about it, I'm starting to wonder if it's not something else. The slime I've taken from kids looks nothing like what I keep finding. This stuff is black, thick, and translucent, and when you touch it, it's not sticky like I'd imagine it'd be. It just slides right off of your fingers. I slam my locker closed, and just as I'm turning to leave, I feel something drop onto my shoulder. I stare up at the ceiling above me and see a puddle of the stuff, slowly getting ready to fall. I move out of the way just in time before it has the chance to make contact with my skin. I grab some paper towels from the bathroom to clean it up. We don't want any tripping hazards in here. As I wipe it, the substance glides right off of the paper towels and lands back onto the floor. Julie walks in and sees me struggling, so she grabs some more paper towels and tells me, "Here, you have to do it like this." Then I watch as she scoops it up and dumps it into the trash. "Can you do me a favor?" she asks with a big grin. "Do you need me to stay and close up again tonight, I assume?" "Would you please?" she begs. "I have a date tonight with Mark. If you can't do it, I guess I can cancel." "No, it's fine, I'll do it. I could use the extra money." She hugs me tightly and squeals, "Thanks so much, I owe you one." "You owe me a few," I yell after her as she walks out of the locker room. Then I quickly apply more sunscreen before going back to work. "Hi, Leilani," a little girl screams as I walk to my post. I lift my sunglasses to see who it is, then wave and smile at 10-year-old Sophie Turner. She's a regular at the pool. She's been coming here every summer since I started working here 4 years ago. She says she wants to be a lifeguard when she grows up. It makes me feel great to know that I'm a role model for kids. The day goes by fast, and before I know it, it's time to close the pool. After everyone clears out, I check to make sure there are no stragglers, then I lock the fence and head to the locker rooms. I can still hear voices coming from the boys' locker room, so I bang on the door and yell, "Time to go, guys!" A group of teenage boys stroll out and I ask them, "Is anyone else in there?" One of them tells me that they didn't see anyone else inside, so once they leave, I go in there to make sure it's empty. When I see that it is, I turn off the lights and head over to the girls' locker room next. As I enter, it sounds very quiet, so I assume that nobody is in there. I see that the locker area is empty, so then I walk over to the bathroom stalls to check there. Those are empty too, so I cut off all of the lights. Last, I head to the front entrance to lock the door. As I'm walking back to the girls' locker room to get my things, I hear banging. It's not very loud, but as I ease open the door, the sound gets louder. I flick on the light switch, and that's when I see it. Above me on the ceiling rests a menacing creature, if you could even call it that, with black, slime-like saliva oozing from it. It looks just like the slime I've been finding all over the locker room. Everything inside of me is telling me to run, but I'm frozen there in fear. I inhale a long, deep breath and smell the most horrible odor I have ever smelled. The suffocating, putrid smell that has invaded the locker room burns the insides of my nostrils, causing me to choke. "Run, Leilani," I keep telling myself, but my body just won't budge. As it slides down the wall, I can see that it has no defined body parts or shape. Everything just kind of flows together into one large puddle of slime. The hairs on the back of my neck stand up, finally alerting my body that this is really happening. As I turn to run, it grabs me by the ankle and I fall to the ground. I kick at it, but my dainty bare feet are no match for it. Then suddenly, it lunges through the air at me, letting go of my ankle for a split second, which is all that I need. I jump up, run out of there, and hop over the iron fence guarding the pool. The puddle crawls after me in long strides, keeping almost the same pace as me. I'm cornered. I have nowhere to go unless I jump into the pool, but I don't think that would do anything to help me at the moment. It clambers toward me, leaving a trail of slime on the ground behind it. All I can think to do is scream for help. But my cries go unnoticed, or so I think. Suddenly Faith, one of my coworkers, appears on the other side of the fence, asking me what is going on. I point in the direction of the thing that was after me, but it's gone now. "Something was following me," I managed to get out. Then I ask her through my tears, "What are you still doing here?" "I was in the parking lot listening to music in my car while I waited for my sister. She's supposed to meet me here." She tells me to open the door for her, but I tell her that there's no way I'm going back inside alone. So she scrambles over the 4-foot-high fence and marches inside to the break room. I follow close behind her, frantically searching for any sign of that thing. She grabs a set of keys from my hand and places one of them into the lock to the supply room. She picks up a bottle of liquid bleach from one of the shelves and holds it up. It's probably just someone playing a prank. Let them mess with me and they'll end up blind. I'm too frightened to tell her that it wasn't a person. I don't want her to think I'm insane, so I don't say anything at all. We search the locker rooms again, first the boys, which is clear, then the girls. "Shouldn't we just call the cops and let them search the place?" I ask nervously. "No way. You can't let these jerks scare you," Faith replies. We creep inside, cautiously searching each nook and cranny. When we get to the bathroom, I see a trail of the thick black slime leading into one of the stalls. Faith smiles and whispers, "We caught the little shit." I grip her arm tightly and warn her not to go in there. She rips her arm from my grasps and looks at me like I'm nuts. "Why are you so afraid? It's just some kid trying to scare us." I shake my head, trying to tell her, but the words just won't come. Faith inches closer and closer to the bathroom stall. When she reaches it, she puts her pointer finger up to her lips, telling me to remain quiet. She unscrews the cap from the bleach bottle and gets ready. Then with her one free hand, she slams the door open and looks around stunned because the stall is empty. She turns toward me and bleach splashes out of the top of the bottle onto her hand and the floor. "Damn it," she yells, sounding annoyed. "There's no one here, Leilani. I don't know what you think you saw, but suddenly a drop of black slime drips onto her shirt. She wipes it off, sounding disgusted. What in the hell is this crap? I point up at the ceiling above her, and her eyes slowly follow. Then they grow big and wide. The last thing I heard her say was, "Oh my God," before the thing drops down from the ceiling, covering her body. Then the only thing I could make out after that was muffled screams, since it was smothering her face, causing her to slip and go tumbling to the floor, tossing the bottle of bleach into the air. It spills all over the place. The creature has a hold of Faith, and her body is now slowly dissolving. I begin to back away in horror at the sight before me. When it notices me, it starts to slither in my direction, and I just know that I'm next. Until it makes contact with the puddle of bleach that Faith spilled in front of me. Smoke fills the air, and I hear a sizzle sound, then a blood-curdling screech before it disappears down a drain in the showers. I rush outside and call the police. Faith's sister is in the parking lot waiting for her, and she asks me if I've seen her. I'm in shock. I can barely speak. I just keep pointing towards the door. She asks me, "Is she in there?" I manage to shake my head no. That's as far as our conversation goes before the police show up. I tell them what I saw happen to Faith, and I describe the creature that I saw in full detail. I tell them that maybe that's why all of these people keep disappearing at the pool. They write everything down, but one of the officers asks me if I've been drinking or if I've taken any drugs. They don't believe me. I'm not surprised. I don't know if I'd believe it either if I hadn't witnessed it with my very own eyes. My boss contacts me that night and tells me to take the next few days off. I agree, but end up going back after only one day. I need to warn all of the others about this danger. My friends who work there and all of the guests, I don't want anyone else to go missing. I get a lot of strange looks when I walk into the pool area. Julie asks another lifeguard to cover for her, then she leaves her post and pulls me into the locker room. "What are you doing here? I thought you were taking some time off." I was going to, but I needed to come down here to warn everyone about what I saw. You all are in danger. They need to shut down the pool and bleach this entire place. I don't know what it is, but something about bleach scares it. My boss walks in and interrupts us. He tells me that if I don't leave now that I'm going to be fired. I ignore him and head towards the pool. Julie follows me, begging me not to do this. "I don't want you to get into trouble." I grab the whistle hanging around her neck and blow it 3 times to capture everyone's attention. My boss is on the phone, I assume calling the police to have me escorted out of there. Julie whispers into my ear, "Please don't do this. You're going to cause everyone to go into panic mode. Someone could get seriously hurt." But I clear my throat and announce, "You all need to leave now. This place is dangerous. My friend was taken the other night by something. I saw it with my own eyes. I think that's how all of these other people keep disappearing. Whatever it was got away, so it's still here somewhere." Some people don't take me seriously. They just laugh and then go back to swimming. But others look around at each other, waiting to see what everyone else is going to do. When one person gets up and leaves the pool, they're followed by one and then another. Some people just get out of the water, but stay. The police arrive minutes later and take me home. They don't arrest me because my boss decides not to press any charges, but he does tell me that I'm fired, and if I return, he'll have me charged with trespassing. I sit at home for the next week, not hearing anything. Maybe the thing is dead, I think to myself. Then I get a call from Julie telling me that there has been another disappearance of someone last seen at the pool. I know what I need to do. If no one believes me, then I'll be the one who puts a stop to this. I decide that I'll break into the pool tonight after it's closed. So that night, I head to the nearest convenience store to stock up on bleach, and I buy every bottle they have on the shelves. Once I get to the pool, I climb over the fence in the back and begin to spread the bleach all around the outside of the pool. Then I dump numerous bottles into the pool. Next, I head to the locker rooms, making sure to pour it all over the floors, walls, and down all of the drains, thinking to myself that there's no way it can sneak up on me this time. I even splash bleach on the ceiling. I'm going to end this tonight. When I'm finished, I sit down on a bench, then place the bottle of bleach down on the floor at my feet, and rest my head on a locker behind me, tired and emotionally exhausted from everything that has been happening lately. Thinking that there needs to be some kind of evidence in case I don't make it out of here tonight, I decide to pull out my phone and text Julie. Julie, I'm at the pool right now. No one believes me about what I saw, so I guess I'll have to be the one to do something about it. I can't let anyone else get hurt. I'm sending you this message so that if anything happens to me tonight, at least you'll know the truth. I press the send button, and a few seconds later, it tells me that my message has been sent. Then the lights start to flicker, and when I go to sit up, I feel something has got me by my hair. I put my hand up to see if I just got my hair caught in one of the lockers, but when I bring it back down, I see that it's covered in black slime. That's when I realize it's coming from the locker. I try to scream, but it's already covering my face. All there is now is excruciating pain and darkness. We have terrible news to report today. There has been yet another person to go missing from Doolittle Pool in Las Vegas. Leilani Kealoha, a former lifeguard at the pool, sent her friend a text message the night she disappeared. She claimed to be at the pool, and no one has seen or heard from her since. Police have found no evidence that she was actually there, but friends and coworkers say that she has been delusional lately since the disappearance of her friend Faith Finley. If you have any idea of her whereabouts, please call the number at the bottom of the screen. Subscribe for new original stories 3 times a week. See you next time on
Nina's Nightmares.
Really? You're supposed to click the like button, not me. Ugh.